Hi guys, I'm live. How you guys doing? Like I said, I would. I'm going live. I'm going to show you guys me changing strings on my guitar today. I said I would do that. So here I am. Got my new necklaces from Hot Topic and my new rings from Hot Topic. So I got a couple packs of strings today. I used our new ball slinkies for 9 to 42s. So this is my pink guitar. I tuned it to E flat. So I haven't been able to play it because I haven't been able to afford strings, but you know, I have a couple packs of strings. So I use these. These are dikes for cutting strings, and this is a string winder. So let's just do this. This is a 3mm Allen wrench, which are really hard for some reason. I don't know if it's a conspiracy or not, but they're really hard to find by themselves. You go to a hardware store, you can't even find a single Allen wrench by itself. You got to buy a whole Allen wrench set, which means they're all attached, which means you don't get to hold it as one. And you have to buy all of them if you want to buy even one. So stupid. Okay, so I'm going to start with, I always start with, I always change the high string first, the high E. So that's just how I do it. So I have to reverse them in order. They always come with the bottom string on top. So I reverse the order. So let's just do this. String winder. Okay. Okay, let's get this string. Yeah. Okay, that string's off. I almost always forget to bring a trash bag. Like I just you know, to hold all the loose metal and everything. I always forget that, you know. Go like this. Counterclockwise takes it looser. Snap it out. So here's string one, the old one. But where do I put it? What do I use for trash cans? Since I always forget that. I don't think, hey, let's bring a bag for trash. I just don't have I just don't think like that. So I'll just lay it over here, I guess. I don't know. Just don't step on it. Don't eat it. I don't know. What else? What do I use? I don't know. So there it is. There's the. So now I take this is my 9-gauge string for the high E, or in my case E flat. Still called E though. You never see a guitar denoted as an E flat chord, even if you're playing in the key, even if you're tuned to E flat. If you're playing an E chord, they still call it position chord. They still call it an E, even if you're tuned to C sharp or D or anything else. What I can do though, see, I always have to think on my feet. I'll put the loose wire in the string, the paper that the string came from. That way I can at least not have loose metal ready to poke anybody. Okay, so you put this in here. I went by Old Town Records today. I really got a lot of fans in there. Was really cool. One fan named Izzy from Manchester, England. She was really cool. I denoted how much I know about England by saying all the cities in England I know. I missed a few. I knew I could. I had a few more I could have said, but I forgot them at the time. Now you go clockwise. I forgot to say Cardiff. I forgot to say Glasgow, and I forgot to say Birmingham. But I thought of most of the others that are notable. I mentioned Oxford College, Cambridge College, Sussex University, Stonehenge. What else did I say? I said Brighton. I said Dover. I said Wales, Liverpool, Yorkshire. Maybe it's just York. I don't know if Shire is part of the city or if York is a shire and therefore it's called Yorkshire. I said 3 cities that famous guitarists / bands are from. Liverpool is where the Beatles came from. Birmingham is where Black Sabbath came from. And Yorkshire is where Alan Holdsworth came from. Okay. Talk about Birmingham too much because Black Sabbath came from there, eh? I know it's like a slum or something, but still, Black Sabbath came from Birmingham. Okay, see now the trash is in this little thing. That way I don't step on it or whatever. Whatever the haters want me to actually do, LOL. Okay, so first string is in. What you can do, put a whammy bar in there. That way when you can use it to, the whammy bar to adjust, make the springs comfortable with an even bridge. It's easier to do it with the whammy bar in than use your hand, you know, right? So don't tighten it high E too much. It'll snap or stretch too much. Leave it loose. So that's the first string. Okay, so this is the second string. All right, this guitar sat there without a string for a long. It's not really good for the springs and everything, but it'll be all right. Yeah, well, I love when I get fans from other countries. It's really cool. You know, England. Wow, I'm 86.5% English and Irish, 13.4% French and German, and 0.1% Native American and Far Eastern, according to 23andMe. Oh yeah, I'm also a descendant of Marie Antoinette and King Louis XVI, according to 23andMe. Okay. Okay, there we go. The second string. Don't pull too hard because, you know, it's not good to stretch metal. Did you know in metal there's a difference between stress and strain? Those words sound similar, but they're actually different. In metallurgy or mechanical engineering, there's stress and strain are 2 different things. Strain is kind of a slow draw, like you're just pulling it. Stress is like a quick jerk. But they're both negative things, but they're different. Stress and strain are different things. I know that from taking materials engineering at Harvard College. Introduction to Materials Engineering taught by Professor King. And my clinic was with him. The clinic I did with General Dynamics was with Professor King. So we worked with arsenic sesquisulfide fibers for General Dynamics. A real job, only I got school credit instead of money. If I would have got money, I would have got money. I don't know how much. What do I know, right? Plus, I'm lying Jim. I'm always lying, right? Because my mouth is moving, LOL. If I'm going to lie, then it doesn't matter what I say. Everything I say is a lie, so I don't even have to talk. All right, here I go. This is 11 gauge is the second string. All right. Clip that sucker. Then I put the trash in the actual paper that the original string came from. The new string, and then here's the old second string goes inside there. All right, there's that. Dude. And you don't want to accidentally bend the string while you're playing, you know, you don't want to strings when they get folded are not good because they crease, you know. They're not like liquid where you can toss it around and it just goes back to its original shape. Just like paper, you can fold paper and it doesn't really unfold, does it? It still has that crease there forever. Metal's like that too. Okay, clockwise is tight. All right. 2. Yeah, my drama with Mari is kind of funny. First I thought she's a spy. She's from another country. You know, I'm going to protect my country, so I'm going to, you know, not fall for her tricks. She poisoned me. She drugged me with mad honey. She's honey potting me, which turns out that might be the truth. But then I thought, no, I blew it. Maybe I was missing. Maybe I misjudged her. Maybe I was too hard on her. So her friend Ruben said he would talk to her for me and tell her, even make up a story if he had to explain just I didn't mean it and I'm nice and all that. So Ruben was all like friendly to me, almost too friendly, but whatever. You know, and then all of a sudden he says, I got a moral quandrum for you, Jimmy. Tell me what you would do. Tell me what you think. Okay, I'm like, I'm all ears, Ruben. Hit me. He goes, if you could go back in time and find Donald Trump as a baby, would you kill him? I said, no. He said, you wouldn't kill him after all the shit he does, killing, blah, 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 blah. Would you kill Hitler as a baby if you could go back in time? I said, no. He goes, well, hey, I got my answer. Thank you. Bye. See ya. Click. Never heard from him again. I blocked him and deleted him as a contact. And he's Mari's friend. They knew each other before I knew either one of them, and they're friends. So maybe I made the right call. I mean, come on, dude. And so then, you know, the first call sometimes is your best. Is your first instinct is often the best one. Later on, you just think, you overthink it later on. You go, well, what if I didn't? What if she wasn't? What if she was okay? What, man, that was cool hanging out with her. And you think you second guess yourself, but really you often are right the first time, you know. You know, first impressions aren't always wrong. It depends on how you make them, what impresses you. Is it just their brand of shoes or whatever? And you judge them negatively because you think that they, you know, whatever, or maybe it's just an actual judgment, and often it's the truth. First judgment. Anyway. Okay. So I'm really kind of happy now about that decision to, you know, with Mari, that I'm just fine. You two can have each other. Sorry for whatever. I mean, if someone overdoes love with you, they just overdo it, you know, like I love everybody, but I don't overdo it. I walk by somebody and if they don't like me, I just walk on, dude. I don't go overboard with anyone. I just don't do that. If someone does that, you better look for like the opposite to happen as well. You know, the yin of that yang, for somehow they turn on you just as quickly. And when they turn on you, it's just as devastating in the negative direction as their overdone love is in the positive direction. It's the same thing like that with the Mormons. They're extremely loving at first or on the surface, but then if you disappoint them, they're psychotically evil people. Like, screw you guys. Dang, man, where's the salt? LOL. That was a joke. I'm not really anti-demon. Demons aren't the problem. It's people worshiping demons without realizing it and thinking they're worshiping God. That's what's really wow. At least the Satanists say they worship Satan. At least they're direct and they're honest, and you can trust that they're not pulling anything on you, because who would say that if they weren't really doing it? Nobody. There's no prestige in Satanism. You're just honest. Okay. Well, people don't usually say they're Satanists just for effect, just to be recognized and impress people. They're just honest. And that's how I try to be, Satanist or not. I'm just honest with, you know, what I feel. Not saying whatever makes me look good. Okay, that's the string for the third string. And there's the sixth. Ooh, that wasn't good. I let it pop out. That could have been negative. Okay, this is the 16 gauge thing. All right. There's that. Okay. This can go in there, in here. All right, so Yeah, haters wish the most horrible things on me is from what I can get the gist of. Some of them hope I'm homeless someday. So you're gonna lose your home, Jimmy? You're gonna be homeless? Yay! I'll be so happy. You just make my little day if you lose your home, Jimmy. Get a life, dude. Oh, whatever. Okay. All right. Third string is in the bridge, and but then again, I'm starting to think less of the haters. I mean, less of the hate. I read a hate the other day that said something like, he was mocking you, Jimmy, because I said thanks to a person I thought was giving me good vibes or whatever, and the other guy came along behind him and said he was mocking you, Jimmy, and I just said honestly, and after that I just threw my phone down. I just said, ask me if I care, and I didn't. I just tossed my phone aside and I was done. I don't even care what the response to that is. I'm good. So I should really care whether someone was mocking me or not. That really is such a big deal to me. Wow, it just rocked my world. Oh my God, the person was mocking me. Holy crap! I just don't know how I can go on. Yeah, right. It's ridiculous. Okay, get that on there like that. All right, and then I cut this part off about like that, and then that goes. So I've got my two new techniques that really kind of came out of the woodwork. It's my slide technique and my whammy bar technique. It just started coming to life, both those two things. They seem like new breakthroughs in technique to me. And I'm finally wearing off from having my eyes dilated for my eye appointment yesterday. Was it yesterday? Wednesday? Yes, it was yesterday. It kind of messes with I'm a very visual person. Plus, meditation is very much third eye stuff, which does relate to your actual two eyes. But I'm starting to level off again. Okay, make sure they're tight. You don't want them to come out of there. Okay, that's good. That's three out of 6 in there. Now this one, the 4th string. Okay. All right. So I go this. Of course, I didn't loosen it yet. Let's do that. That might help. All right. Right there. And not good. But did I? Oh, that was good. It worked out well there. Good. Let's do this. Let's cut this right here so the trash can be on its own. There's a curious little piece of metal sticking out that I don't like. That is still on there, which is a good thing. Okay, string 24. Last time I flipped it too much. It came out not a good way, so let's not do that this time. Put this string stuff in this trash thing here. Okay, good. In there. Yeah, all right. good. Okay, that's trash. All right, this time let's not flip it way too wildly like I did that G string. I just go loosen it a little and just slowly this balls off of it. Yeah, and supposedly Mari's running for Congress, and one of her friends, Ruben, actually defriended me because I didn't want to go back in time and killed Donald Trump and that's her friend. You get that? Like, that is some crazy people. And I'm just, okay, thank you. That sounds like my first judgment of Mari was correct. Man, people. All right, there's the D string in there. This. Okay. Matter's almost done with the studio. Escondido for us to record in. I don't know if it's a month or 2 or 3 when it'll be done, but it's coming up. We'll go live together there, the studio in Escondido. So join us if you like, if you're there. Okay. Good. That makes 4 out of 6 that are in there. All right, there's a piece of it coming out of there, huh? Well, whatever, I'm good. Okay, now the 5th string, 5th, and then periodically go back and level it a little bit. Make sure they're really tight into the bridge. All right, they are, and then loosen, and then tighten them a little bit. Now that you've got a few strings in, tighten them a little. They don't have to be totally slack. It's a relative thing. Just tune them, make them a little tighter than they used to be a minute ago, which is cool. You're starting to get ready to tune them up. All right, that's good enough. Now 5th string. Okay, like this. Get stuck in there pretty good. They get stuck in there. You gotta loosen them quite a bit. I'll just do it by hand. This is good, right? All right, there we go. Just out of here like this, go like this. Okay. Now we're on the 32 gauge, which is the 5th string. 32 gauge. Before I undo that, let's put the trash in because that's better. Okay. All right, now I can undo this. Don't let it fly too much around. Cut it here. It goes in here. So the third Voodoo trilogy song to do. I will do it. I'm just haven't yet, but it's coming. Maybe tonight, tomorrow. Tonight/tomorrow morning. All right. Oops. Okay. Now tighten it clockwise. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with counterclockwise. What's wrong with counter? Why can't clocks? Someone said that the Rolling Stones used to have their clocks go counterclockwise, and I think that's cool. What's wrong with that? So what? What makes that holy and that unholy? Just because of a direction. It's just math. Like -1 is unholy, but +1 is holy because I say so. Well, are electrons evil and protons good? You know, first of all, that charge is just defined by us. The charges are opposite, but we could have called the protons negative charge and the electrons positive charge. That would have switched the polarity of that case anyway. What's wrong with negative things? Negative minus things are okay. You know, I would like to, if I had tons of money, have a special clock made that went counterclockwise. I would do that. Sounds cool to me. Sounds interesting. Okay. Like in Chinese philosophy, yin isn't bad, yang isn't good. They're just yin and yang. They're just positive and negative. It doesn't make one good and one bad. Good and bad are just words anyway. And defined by whom? Who gets to say what's good and what's bad? Now that we've actually defined them as words. Okay, fifth string, tighten that sucker up. Usually the guy that gets to define good and bad might be the guy holding the gun. But that does not make him right just because he has the gun. But it makes him have the mic, maybe, but not necessarily the right. Okay, there we go. My dad talked about that a lot. He talked about might versus right a lot. My dad liked great people. He liked Gandhi, and he liked Tchaikovsky in music. He liked Kelly Johnson, the guy that actually invented the SR-71 Blackbird. He really respected Kelly Johnson. He knew what he knew what he had done and really respected that dude. He talked a little bit about it, but couldn't say much. He wasn't allowed to because it was all classified. He told me a little bit, though. He told me a little bit about Kelly Johnson's theories. Very little, not enough to really tell me more than you get it. He just taught me a little bit about what Kelly Johnson did with SR-71, what made his ideas unique. Maybe he should have told me that, but whatever. He did. He told me about his ideas a little bit. I was an engineering student myself. I mean, Kelly Johnson was cool. Man, they get in there tight, don't they? Okay, I'll just do it by hand like I did the other one. Yeah. Don't tell me it won't go any looser. Yeah, it's stuck in there, eh? No, it will go looser. Just could. All right, this. Come on, you sucker. Well, it came out. That's a good thing. Okay. I don't want to stress that too much or strain it, whichever the right word is. There we go. Sixth string. All right. 42 gauge. That's my 6th string. Trash in first. Okay, now take the 6th string out. Get the thing off of it. So I managed to get all the trash in the little things without. I didn't really need a trash can after all, a trash bag or whatever you call it. Okay, so now let's get this sucker in there. Clockwise is tight. Okay. Okay. Bit of trivia, just fun facts. I think my favorite guitarist alive today is Steve Vai, but he's not my favorite string player. My favorite string player alive today is Jeff Berlin, bass player. If I saw Steve Vai, I would say, "Hey man, you're great. I think you're cool. What's up?" I saw Jeff Berlin, I would put my guitar on the ground, respectfully, put my hands together in a prayer position, and do a slight bow to Jeff Berlin and say, Jeff, hi, I'm Jimmy. Do you want to teach me something about music? And it's good to see you. Yeah, much more respect than any other living string player. Basically, he's the greatest string player on the planet to me, alive right now. Okay, there's that. Also, Eric Johnson, who's probably my second favorite guitar player. I'd say, hey man, you're cool. Hey, what's up? If I saw Joe Satriani, I'd say, hey Joe, hi, how you doing? That's the responses I would give to those 4 string players I've mentioned. Okay, here we go. I turned down a chance to get Joe's signature and handshake at the Guitar Trader in Clement Mesa in 2003. I just asked him a question and left. That was good enough for me. I'm not a glory hound. I shook hands, but I didn't care. I asked him a new question, was enough for me. Here we go. All right. Actually, I've seen Joe in concert 3 times in 2 different states. It's the most I've seen of any professional artist in music. It's the most I've seen anybody. I've seen Steve Vai. Have I seen him? I think I saw him only once. And I saw Satriani 3 times. I didn't get to see Eric Johnson. I had tickets, but I didn't have a ride. Okay. Saw Lynch Mob, saw Van Halen later on, though, like 2014, when David Lee Roth was back with them, but it wasn't the original. It wasn't from the 80s, in other words, but still, it was still a cool concert. Okay, now this is level. Here's what I do, guys. So make sure all this is good. This is all tight. It's level, and then I kind of string it. I kind of tighten them with it level with the whammy bar. So the tension, it kind of lines up with what I want it to be. I'm just kind of holding it level with the whammy bar, tightening the strings. It's like a person could sit on a bed of nails and doesn't hurt them because there's so many nails there. But if you lay on one nail, it goes right through you. So that's the same thing with tension on multiple strings. If you tighten one string really tight, it'll break. But if you tighten 6 strings pretty tight, none of them break. They all help each other not break. So you get it not too tight, but just little by little. You're not looking for, perfect tuning right now. You're just kind of. Now, when they hold in place, you did your job, basically. And almost there. And close. So look, if you want to, bridge is pretty even. See that with the whammy bar, it helped it be fairly level. Even though I just put them on there. People put them on. If you put them on in a stupid way and you just put them on with it all slack, you're going to be playing with that stuff for days. But the way I do it, less so. So then I'm going to tune a little bit. I'm not going to go on and on and on. You guys saw me change strings. Is what I said I would do. I'm going to make sure they're tight in the bridge once again. Tighten everything up. Energy never dies. It just becomes less powerful because of entropy, or less useful because of entropy. But it doesn't really die. Energy doesn't cease to exist. It just ceases to be as useful. It's called entropy. Randomness, chaos, which always, according to the second law of thermodynamics, delta H is greater than 0. Any natural reaction will always cause more randomness than before. Or be accompanied by more randomness than before. Okay, so things are in. Tune it compared to another guitar. That's an E, so I want that to be a sharp. Not there yet. Keep going. Now go back and check your work. Tighten it again, because sometimes. Oh, great. That was actually funny. Get through there like that. Because I don't put a back on this, it went right through. Otherwise, that would have been stuck in there, and I would have been like, oh, I got to get that out of there. All right. I leave it out because when you want, I'll show you in a second. When you want to change the tension on your thing, I don't want to have to open that up every time. What? Yeah, that's stupid. Okay, now, once again, I'm really good at losing things. Okay, that's an E. That should be an F there. This one's tuned to D. Make sure that. Oh, wait. I may have had to retune that, so that'll. All right, should be tuned to E flat. Pretty level, could be better, but hey, not too bad, not too far off. So, you guys, peace, love, and rock and roll.